Yes, yes, yes. Once again, at the Go Us podcast, another opportunity, man, to express, talk, and talk about these things. We need you also to like and subscribe because the numbers matter, especially when you're telling stories like this. We got J30 in the building,
You
and we want to
already
talk.
know.
We already know. We want to talk about the good, the gift and the curse of hip hop, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the music industry, man. We know it's so many things. So this is part one because we know it's going to take many different layers and many different conversations because it's so vast. It's a lot to talk about, But I think we can fill in some of the gaps of what's going on with hip hop and where some people was not there at the beginning, but got so much to say about hip hop when they really wasn't a part of the birth of hip hop. Hip hop really come out of Black pain. What do you say, J30?
Yeah, definitely. It came from Black Pain. You know what I mean? It's like, it was a message for us to get out the situation and better ourselves, not challenge ourselves. You feel me?
That's a great point. And I think what happens, because I respect all cultures that's a part of hip hop now, but a lot of cultures was not there in the beginning and don't understand where we really came from. Because after post-slavery, a lot of blacks left the South and ran to New York, Chicago, and all of these cities. And then
In the West
Harlem,
Coast too.
no, all of these cities, Oakland, all of those places. And what happens is, what happened was from the South to, trust me, so many people ran to Cali, especially from Louisiana. There's a lot of people from Cali, and they just had to go where the resources were. So that was the goal, to try to find some kind of resources. My family is up, from the South as well. But I think a lot of people don't understand what the 80s really looked like. So there's a lot of people that think hip hop was, feel ways about hip hop. But I'm just telling you, we came from nothing. I'm gonna show you just a little video of what the 80s looked like for all of these young guys and young people that don't understand this music is spawned out of pain. Just give you a little bit of look of how Harlem and the Bronx looked back then, back in the 80s. See these abandoned schools, abandoned buildings. This is where
that's the Bronx.
That's the Bronx. This is where the people live.
Yeah.
This was Harlem.
Yep.
And this is where people was waking up every day.
Yep. Trying to make it better. You know what I mean? Trying to come up out of that. I
want you
remember
to
those
see.
days running through city. City blocks.
Just giving you guys an idea. When you say getting it out the mud, you got to get it out the abandoned building. You got to get it out the condemned
out
building.
Of the basement.
Out of the basement.
You got to fight with the rats.
Look at these buildings, and people lived in those buildings. I remember going to visit friends and really couldn't even walk up the stairs. The stairs was broken in some of these buildings. When you say I'm from the gut, I'm from the gut. I'm from the real part of that gritty. And I'm not here to glorify any of that, but just to impress upon you the reality that hip hop come from pain. So sometimes artists today, they just only a part of the hip hop part, right? Yeah. They love the hip hop part, right? So, but they like the rap part of me. They like the rap part of the music. So they figure, well, if I can rap, then I'm a part of hip hop. And most people don't even know what hip hop stand for, right? It's higher, infinite power, helping our people. So most people don't understand the acronym for hip hop. So that's why I don't want to get too deep into it. I'm going to say it again. High infinite power helping our people. So when you look at the acronym of hip hop, most people don't even know that. So if I were to ask most people that, most artists that, they wouldn't know. But I don't want to get too deep into it because I don't want it to become that kind of a lesson. But I want to also give y'all guys impressed and just look at the background of a video that most people know about or a song most people know about. And remember the background I just showed you. It's going to look similar. Check it out.
Boys held up a mirror to the black inner city when times were tough and getting tougher. What started as a party movement became a protest movement, and the rhymes follow suit. From throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care, to don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
My brother's doing fast on my mother's TV. Says she watches too much, it's just not healthy. All my children in the daytime, Dallas at night. Can't even see the game or the Sugar Ray fight. The bill collectors, they ring my phone and scare my wife when I'm not home. Got a bum education, double-digit inflation. Can't take the train to the job, there's a strike at the station. Neon King Kong standing on my back, can't stop to turn around.
Look at that background, all the same.
Mid-range migraine cancer.
All the
As far as the
same.
message is concerned, all records prior to that were frivolous, happy-go-lucky, party, let's get down. This particular record had to be created by somebody who lived and understood urban America.
It really was the first time, in a very coherent, musically accessible way, that you had a rap record that dealt with the society around us in America. And certainly every record that came after that that dealt with anything social was influenced or was a response to the message.
Right. So, and the reality of that is the message is less. If you know the lyrics to those songs, then you understand that basically that got, Melly Mel was just talking about the pain and everything that was going on in the environment. Because prior to that, everything was songs like this, which is a bunch of pain as well. And just to bring it up, the great Marvin Gaye, I'm not going to play the long version, but I'm going to give you some idea of what this pain is about. What this pain is about. Pull this right quick.
Mother,
This is in 71.
there's too many of you crying. Brother, brother,
Talking about the war.
there's far too many of you dying.
You hear the pain in that?
You know
Yeah.
you've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Yeah. Father, we don't need to.
Just letting y'all guys understand. See, hip hop comes from a pain. And I just think that there's a lot of artists at one point was trying to express that, and the industry decided that that message has to die because it will create some consciousness. And I think they didn't want the people or the young people to be more conscious, or they wanted to disconnect the people from that consciousness in order to have a happy-go-lucky lifestyle. So now when I think about hip hop and I say the gift and the curse, I think the gift is that we was able to make money out of a talent and an art form that was never made before. And it came from people just being talented, just talented artists, and just gave us the opportunity to express ourselves on wax. And I just think that once they because at first they thought the music couldn't work. You remember that, Jack? They thought it would never work. They never thought it would work. And then over a sudden, Rappers is Light took off. And then they started saying, oh, okay, it's a possibility that this could be some money. And this is when all of the people that robbed the artists got into the game. Because even prior to that, a lot of the R&B artists already got robbed. Motown and all those people back then, when you go back and look at the paperwork. So, I just think that the gift part is that we're able to express ourselves as such talented people, So how do you feel about some of that, Jack? I know you want to say something about that.
Nah, it's just, it's just like, it's just talking about, because back in those days, it was a little more pain and, and most of it come from like, we had to police the police, you feel me? Because it was things going on back in those days, and it was getting reported, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. And we was kind of, so we had to like kind of figure it out ourselves. Yeah, so that's why he had to put it, that's why I said the message, you know what I mean? So that's why he had to put the message out there, like this is what's going on in these inner cities, you know what I mean?
And this is truly going on.
Yeah, and so that's what really had us really messed up. And so then, the rap kind of saved a lot of people, you know what I mean?
It gave some employments to a lot of people, gave some character to prove that we was more than just the perspective of the stereotype that America had about us. And I remember hip hop when I was a small kid and I saw it in the street. The first artist I ever saw with my very eyes was Kurtis Blow. and we was right there on 146th Street, right by a school I went to back then called 153. Everybody knows that, between Amsterdam and Broadway. Great where Broadway International down there, right? So, and I remember, like, man, I was standing in awe as a small kid, like, what's this music? What is this about? And I was standing with one of my closest friends back then, best friend back then named Aaron, and we was right in front of a girl that we had a crush on, a girl named Trina Pulliam, I think her name was. She lived right across the street from the school, and we was, we used to go try to find, go run around there and see if we could see Trina every now and again. And then they had a basketball court, you feel me? And then we came out of block one day, 30, and I just saw a guy rapping. First, hip hop seemed like it was basically playing music with the DJ, scratching, doing all of these things, and then the guy just hyped the crowd out. You feel me?
Right,
and then Curtis Blow started putting his little bit of rhymes together, and then the cops would come and shut it down, right? And then we'll run to another block, and then the DJ take his equipment set up by another pole, and then start the party all over again. So hip hop was really music on the run. To be honest with you, it was like music on the run.
True.
And then we used to. Yep, go ahead.
No, because I remember back in the days when you couldn't. Everybody had the show, but it was on tape, and then everybody didn't really have the show. You know what I mean? Like, you had to really be, it tapped in with the streets to get the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everything was on cassette.
Yeah, so when you heard that 6 minutes, put your valleys on 6 minutes. You know what I mean? So we ain't really, you know what I mean? So it was mostly tapped into the streets in that time. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%.
So, because I remember De La Soul came uptown on 173rd, and they went to the record store, and they was doing that Potholes in My Lungs. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, they on Tyrone Block. It was crazy. They had a record store right there, 170. I think it was Tyrone Block, 174th and Audubon. It was a record store right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they came through, and they did their thing right there. That's when they had the little Gumbies with the the peace thing in the side.
Let me tell you something. De La Soul was a dope group. I mean, they were so unique, and that's what I think the part of hip hop, the unicity of hip hop has changed, because everybody, when you first started getting on the mic, and I remember back then too, anybody that was a true MC, they wouldn't let you get on a mic. You feel me? You can't get on my mic. Bring your own mic. That's why if you look at Rakim, he said he was a microphone fiend. I take my mic and throw it. You know what I'm saying? All of those things. Because back then, you used to carry your own mic. What you gonna say, 30?
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like, when you go to the hip hop, right? Boom, it's like it hit a little different from back in the days than now. You know what I mean? Because see, like, back in the days, like, right, me and my nigga DeAndre, we used to be in the house, and we used to have the Jungle Brothers. You feel me? And we had the record. You get what I'm saying? And we used to play it on the thing, and I used to listen to it, and then I wanted to get my black beads. You know what I mean? You remember the black bead with the African on it? You remember?
Yeah. Black beads, no question.
Yeah, it was like mostly a change with the medallion
Africa
on it.
My bottom, Zulu Nation.
Yeah, that type of thing. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, you talking about the one that the Jungle Brothers wore?
Yeah, the Jungle Brothers.
Red, black, and green. I mean, red, black, and
when they had that, I'm an educated man from the motherland. If people call me a star, that's what I am. You know what I mean? I'm a Jungle Brother, a true
so, yeah.
Yeah. So once me and M was listening to that, so the Slick Rick came out, and it's crazy because I saved my money up to get that CD. You know what I mean? I was pump gas and all that, and I went and got my CD. It was,
I say you were resourceful. You found ways to make your money, get it up. Yeah. That's how it is.
Yeah. So I went out. So I got my money up, and it was a radio shop on Dykeman. Like when you come out the 1 train, because I was going to 52 at that time. So I went down. So it was a record shop where every time I go to school, they had the Slick Rick, bro. I got my little Slick Rick, my Mona Lisa. I was juiced up, and like back in the days. But back in the days, you used to want to know the whole album. You know what I mean? So when you used to see your friend, you want to be spitting the whole album like you ain't even got it. You know what I mean? So it was like a different type of feeling with the music back in those days. You know what I mean?
I tell you, Mona Lisa was one of the greatest songs I had ever heard.
Oh, well, that was my.
Excuse me, there. My God, you look nice. Put away that money. I'll buy that slide. No, that in the track, I just say like, just whatever studio session that was that day, that was an incredible session. I can't even imagine with the engineers and when Rick came in and started dropping that. I'm pretty sure they ran out of the studio. I would have.
Yeah.
Because just think of the bars of that time, man. Like, and then he killing you with the accent. And then the way it's measuring up, you know, you're talking about subject, predicate, all this stuff that when you hear it, and then you eat pizza all the time. So he just like, that's why I say the teenage love, children's story, all those. That's why if you can't appreciate rap from the 80s, it's just because you wasn't alive.
Right.
That's it. And I understand that because I can't appreciate certain things, right? Because I was not there. That's why some guys like, oh, I said, if you've never seen Jordan play with your very eyes, you can't get that same understanding by watching a video. Because like I told one young guy, I don't want to get off topic. There's many games that Jordan played that they don't show on video. What about those games? You can't appreciate that, right? So at the end of the day, I'm saying to myself that you know, just that Slick Rick session. So let me ask you this. I want to show another video of the great Mo D. And I think this is where hip hop started to change because it was about the culture, the people, the pain, having fun, surviving, XYZ, celebrating your survival, all of those things, man. So, and you know how long Mo D been in the game is like ridiculous. He been in the game from, I don't even want to tell you, like the beginning, straight out of
yeah, he one of them ones.
He one of the legends, and he don't get the credit he deserves. He don't get the flowers he deserves. I mean, because even back then, people came and studied him before they could do anything. The LLs, Cool J's of the world.
That Wild Wild West right there. I was there, Uptown, Hunt 20, 9th Street, Convict, everything upbeat. Come on, man. I say niggas terrorists up there with my man Fat Daddy and with my man Yusef and BJ.
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to say. Even LL studied these guys. That's why I told people, you know, I don't like to get too deep into it, but at the end of the day, you was not a part of that. You just wasn't there. And I could appreciate all the hip hop that we got now and all the rap we got now, but you just wasn't at the beginning of it. You wasn't at the genesis of it. That's all it was. Let me play this one video. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
No, I was just saying, you know, back in the days, we was going hard with that hip hop because it's like, you know, it was just like you had Video Music Box, you had Ralph McDaniels, you had Crazy Sam. And you know what I mean? And then like when they used to play the videos and stuff, people used to have to go home real quick and go check the video out, you know what I mean? And you record it on the VHS, you feel me? And then you make your little mixtape or whatever off the VHS and all that, you know. So that's how hip hop, you know, that was the energy. But go ahead, play the film.
Energy. Let me put the video on right quick.
What happened was when Public Enemy, and I remember this vividly, my album was called Knowledge is King. It was going into a whole spiritual space about knowledge and being intelligent. KRS-One was saying Jesus was black. And Public Enemy was saying it takes a nation of millions to hold us back. That's all 88, 89, and by the time we got to 90, the powers that be said this black conscious movement is moving without radio play, it's moving completely underground, and there's an underground subculture of positive, pro-black, intelligent people. We cannot have this movement happening. So the unfortunate part for gangster, quote-unquote gangster rap was they started to handpick what they were going to play. And this is the part that you know. They went from not playing rap because they said it was too edgy and not melodic enough to playing the most profane rap and beeping the curses out. That's how bad they wanted to get that content on the radio. There's nothing on the radio that hasn't been paid for. So that was an investment. So the part that we're really, really underestimating is if you had PE over here and you had Biggie over here, you're going to say we're going to put more money in the Biggie because we understand his content. And this is back to freedom of speech without question. I love a lot of what Biggie did. I love a lot of what NWA did. But they started to make us one-dimensional. So instead of seeing that there was the Black Panther and the Mac, they started only showing the Mac.
See, and that speaks volumes right there. And I think some people might be offended by that, but they shouldn't because it's getting back to the genesis of it, the foundation of it. And if I told you earlier what hip hop stand for, then this is one of the pioneers. So he's never was off track. He never was off base. He understood that when they came to him as an artist and started telling him that we don't want what you offer, that's probably one of the biggest like surprises to him, because it was like a culture shock. Like, I'm a pioneer. And then if anybody is dealing with KRS-One, and I could tell you what his name stands for, but I want to get into that. But what I'm saying to you is, good.
See, what happened is that the money shaped the culture. You feel
Exactly
me?
what he just said. Nothing on the radio that's not paid for.
Yeah. So what I mean by that is, like, if they went for the bag, they wouldn't have to go for the drag. You know what I mean? So, but what I mean by that is, like, it's like they start paying for certain situations. You know what I'm saying? So now, if they're not gonna pay you for that situation, you're not gonna do that situation. You know what I'm saying? So that don't mean it's not hip hop. You get what I'm saying? So that's just the people who paying for the hip hop is not paying for that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
So
know exactly what you mean. You
so
basically
now,
saying whatever the money is being invested in, and that's whatever is being picked up or bought, and that's what it seemed like. In so many words, is basically the same business model of what sells. If it makes money, it makes sense, and if it don't make money, then we can make it. We could prove to you that it's not going to make sense until it make money. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, because see, you know that all that music was making money. You get what I'm saying? But the thing about that music was it's conscious music, right? So guess what? Those artists is conscious. You get what I'm saying? So now it ain't no money into conscious rappers. You get what I'm saying? And the only reason I said that because you can't rob those guys. You get what I'm saying?
And let
Now,
me tell you something. That's a very important piece. That's a very important piece. And you should expound
so
on that, because the reason I say that's very important is because you're basically saying these are principled guys and they're smart people. So
yeah,
they understand what I'm going to use the term, what a sucker's deal is. So you're
yeah,
saying they're not going to go for that sucker's deal, and they're not going to forget the plight of why hip hop was created. So you got two things going on at that time where that's not the artist you would be looking for.
right.
You know what I mean? So I just think that in that reality, that's a big part of it. Where you say where the money
So
is being
so
invested in.
so those conscious guys, right? They're not gonna go for the rob, right? So they go with the people less conscious, mostly going with the glitter and glamour of the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the ones
So
that want the money. The ones that
yeah,
want to take the money and use the money for the, like, in so many words, it's more like a you just want to basically say, I can use this for the financial gain. Forget the message, forget the purpose, forget what we're doing. I want to make the money. And
that
let me tell you
that
something. I think a big part of it too was with those artists, because think about it, nobody was buying hip hop at the major level, right? So now I think a lot of artists came in not even really knowing what gold was, what platinum was, what was diamond, all of these things. So now it's the same business model they always use. You're not this, you're not that. You didn't live up to this. So now we can say
but
you're not hot anymore.
but that's the thing. This wasn't their game. This is our game. So so we got into their world, right? So now they showing us this is how they rules go. You know what I mean? We was already making money on the independent, like hand
Yeah,
to
doing
hand, doing it like
shows,
that.
doing things like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, doing shit like that, and we should have just kept it on that level. But so now we wanted to be on another level, so we wanted to be considered as what they say it is.
Yeah,
You
that's
get
what I'm
what I'm
talking about. The
saying?
numbers. They
So
started playing the numbers again.
we shouldn't even care about what they say about what we doing. You
No,
get
but
what
at
I'm
the end
saying?
of the day, that's the real curse, where they could come and tell us that we're not hot anymore, right? It's almost the same like the NBA. You got guys doing analytics that never even played before.
That part.
You respecting their numbers, so you get a bunch of number guys that can skew the numbers and make the numbers sound a certain way, and then say you're not hot. But that's what he did with a lot of the artists. You know, they told them, well, listen, if you didn't sell, because all it took was somebody to sell 500,000. Whoever that first artist was that sold 500,000 in hip hop made the bar, made the measure. And now there's somebody sold 1 million. That's double that. That's a new measure. So now these guys is making 90 cents on a dollar. You getting 10 cents on a dollar. Now they saying to themselves, man, this is real music. This is easy money. Now I could drop him and get him. So could you imagine how much of the business changed once, like around 92 and around the time when they say, all right, we got like NWA came out and sold serious numbers. You feel me? Because they was almost banned to a certain degree. So they made people even more interest. Luke.
But see, that's what I'm saying. But like, you know, to go back to the beginning, what I was saying, that the rap game is a rob game.
Listen,
now
I got a video.
If you can't get robbed, if you can't, you can't get robbed, you don't get in. That's just kind of that. It seemed like that was the way to get in, right?
I tell you this.
No, I'm just saying how I look at it.
No,
Look, now 100%. you got Dre, right? Boom. Dre eating off of M eating off of 50 eating off of, so mostly everybody have somebody got to eat off of them, right?
Yeah, it's a business
now
model.
So but it's, some people don't think it's fair, but then you look at it, you might not ever have nothing in your life, so you don't care about a person eating from you like that, right? So now they took it to the West Coast. Now they was doing it, but then Ice Cube got with PE. He was already smart on it, you know what I mean, on that, and then they was getting got, you know what I'm saying? So boom, from there they took it to the South, because now the West Coast is wised up on it, so they went on independent and doing their thing. So now they take it to the South. You get what I'm saying? So now they can get the rob on better. So every time you wise up, you feel me? They'll switch it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, so in so many words, they basically looking for new artists that want to be a part of this industry that can sell records. So when they got the Master P, Juvenile, and all those guys, it's just like so. So now it's basically the same business model to rob people. And they started robbing in New York, jetted to the West Coast, Midwest, South, and everywhere, and they're doing the same thing. But at the same time, but the message got killed in all of that, right? The message got totally murdered. That was a death blow to the message of what hip hop is really about. So that's why they got rid of, because see, that's why I said they killed two birds with one stone. Once I could rob them and I could get rid of the consciousness. Let me load one more video right quick about one of the artists that was, we remember how hot this guy was when he dropped.
Changing from positive to negative was not a consequence of history. It was not a circumstance of history. It was nothing that just happened on its own. It had nothing to do with the changing of the times. It had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with the fact that there are people in this particular society who wants to see us exactly where we are. I believe it was JT, the bigger figure, who said, the label executives came to him and said, yo, brother, we need you talking about guns and whores. You know what I mean?
That's right.
That happens. I've been in those meetings. Young Buck, he has a song on his album that talks about police terrorism. The label said absolutely not. Jimmy Iovine said absolutely not. You cannot put that on the album because it might create an atmosphere that might put police officers' lives in danger.
Right.
So they took the record off, but they let him keep the other 14 songs on the album that talked about killing black youth. So this is what we're dealing with. We're not dealing with a circumstance or consequence of history.
So that's, you know, like, and when you look at that, you think about that, and you know, the artists and all of those things, and about, like I say, the message got lost.
It got lost. See,
Translation.
like, and like, you know, and the thing is that people be mad at the people who do shit, right? And then they come and get in that position and do the same shit.
Yeah, I get it. Now I know what you're saying.
So-
You basically get in that position. You got robbed. Now you get in there. You should take the pain from being robbed and being principled. But you taking the pain of being robbed and saying, "Well, somebody robbed me. I'm gonna rob somebody else." It's like it's like
do
you
some
get
more suck MC shit. And then they hit you with the it's business, not personal. Like, what do you mean?
listen. Whatever you're dealing with, money is always personal. But no, but that's why I say even in the movie in New Jack City, it's just so funny how some people miss that message, and they got the message where they're like, "Oh, I could just rob you and then call it business," and that's why a lot of people got caught up. Look, I know you got things to do, but I want to drop one more video, and we're gonna close out because this is part 1, 30. This is only part 1, and we're gonna deal with it. So check this video out. Tell me what you think.
Hip hop is the worst loan you could ever make. When you sign to a major label, that money that they give you, let's say they give you 800 grand, right? That's a loan. You have to pay back that loan with interest. So if you don't make back that 800 grand, what they do is they put you in the red, but you can still be hot, and you didn't make back that 800 grand. So you can still be hot, so they'll give you another album. And they'll give you, instead of 800 grand, they'll give you 1.2 this time, right? So now, but you're still in the hole for that 800. You understand? But now you got another 1.2, and if you don't make that, then you're just in the red for both. And this is a loan with interest that you don't get nothing out of. Hip hop is not meant for the artist to win.
See, and that's the point right there. Like, I think, like you said, after all of the shenanigans, after all of the stuff that happens, you know, it's a sad commentary, to be honest with you. When most of these guys is parading around, they gave them all of this jewelry, all of these things, and just pump. Think about it. You pumping something, and you ain't getting paid for nothing. That's like the worst case scenario. That's why I say sometimes when you're really dealing with it, that's why I say it was a gift and a curse, and that's why the topic is a gift and a curse. This is a part of the bad and the ugly. This is a part of the bad and the ugly when it comes to hip hop. I got one more video, and then we're gonna close out. But what you have to say about the Nori video right there, 30?
Nah, you're just saying all the stuff I've been saying.
Nori, yeah. No, but that's why I had to solidify it so that people can understand that most of the artists, you know, that's why when Jay-Z used to say stuff about artists, I don't see none of that because he saw a lot of their paperwork was, you know what I'm saying? Because he had a legit, like you say, a joint venture deal, right? So some of the biggest artists now is still some of the biggest artists because they was on the other side of the paperwork where they had the advantage. So I'm gonna show this last video. We're gonna close out, and then part 2, we're gonna talk about it. But we're gonna end this on part 1. And this video here, let me just play it and tell me what you think, because I think you've seen it already one time before.
Hop has been around for 50 years. Not a single hospital, not a single school, not a single bank, not a single supermarket, not a single distribution company. How can we call hip hop a blessing to the black community when that type of money being made off of our culture and the community doesn't benefit from it at all? So you come to the community and give out a few turkeys. You come to the community and give out a few pair of sneakers. You come to the community and you throw a couple parties. And in exchange for some damn turkeys and chickens and some sneakers, you push death and destruction on our children for a living. And we're supposed to be okay with that because you dropped off some clothes and some turkeys. It's not acceptable. Until hip hop begins to be a blessing for the black community, hip hop is an agent.
Right. So now, when you look at where he's going, right? It's getting to a heavy point because, like I said earlier, the disconnect was already made. The brothers that could have made that connection was already pushed out the business. So you're talking about hip hop after the conscious guys is gone. You see what I'm saying to you? Now you're able to, like, in so many words, I respect his cipher where he's going, but he should already know by then those guys was all they're signing is selfish hip hop artists that only care about the money in the business. At that point, that's why anybody could come from different cultures and be a rapper, because it's no longer was conscious. Because if you would have kept it on a conscious page, then you would have to talk about the pain of where the people came from. That's why anybody could be a rapper today, because it's no longer about the consciousness. That's why they lose back to the point that you originally made. They killed two birds with one stone. So I want to thank y'all for visiting the Go Me podcast. Part 2 will be coming up. We'll be dealing with some of that. And we want you to like and subscribe. And please leave your comments and let us know how we can be better. Please leave your comments on things that you want to say. And I'll say it on the show, some of the comments. And I want to
tap in if you want to be on the show. Tap in too.
Yes. We got to be able to give these flowers to the right people. Today, I felt we gave flowers to poor righteous teachers. This is a flower show. We gave love to Melly Mel, to Kumo D. You feel me? And the people that made hip hop what it's supposed to be, but it got lost in translation where the message is not the same. Now it's just, I wouldn't say want to put it down, but I would just say it's more.
It's music.
It's just music. Like you say, some of the comedians say it's just jokes. This is just music now. It has no real validity and no real credence and no real connection to the beginning. It's so far. You say it's 50 years later, but I think it's lost its way maybe, 40 years ago? Would you say 30, 40 years ago, it's lost its message? You know, so I would say about 25, 30 years ago, it's lost its message. It's no longer connected to what the beginning and the foundation of hip hop was about. And once again,
they let money shape it.
Yep. A higher, infinite power helping our people. That's the acronym from hip hop. And we're going to end on this note. We appreciate you. We love y'all. Go you, go me, go us, and keep building. So we're going to close out on this one. Another video, some little bit of evolution of hip hop.
Now what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat. And me, the groove, and my friends are gonna try to move your feet. You see, I am Wonder Mike, and I like to say hello. Up to the black, to the white, the red, and the brown, the purple, and yellow. But first, I gotta bang, bang, the boogie to the boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the bang, bang, boogie. Let's rock. You don't stop, rock the rhythm that'll make your body rock. Well, so far you've heard my voice, but I brought two friends along. And
what
next
else?
on the mic is my man Hank. Come on, Hank, sing that song. Check it out, I'm the CASN, the OVA, and the rest is FLY. You see, I go by the code of the doctor of the mix, and these reasons I'll tell you why. You see, I'm 6'1" and I'm tons of fun, and I dress to a T. You see, I got more clothes than Muhammad Ali, and I dress so viciously. I got bodyguards, I got two big guns that definitely ain't the whack. I got a Lincoln Continental and some.
Yes,
That
indeed.
part.
So thank you, J30. Part 2 will be coming up. We got some other special guests that'll be coming next week. We may do part 2, but we had a bunch of interviews we've done. But we want to thank y'all, man. Go you, go me, go us, go US, and all the people, man. Like and subscribe. Yes. Love y'all. Be well. Keep scribing. Keep doing your thing. Stay above.
Church.